welcome to another lawnfawn video. It's Kelly here, and today we are so excited to be introducing our brand new die, Party Mouse. And we're also going to be introducing our brand new stamp set, Year 15, along with its coordinating dies and coordinating coloring stencils. First up, we're going to take a look at the Year 15 stamp set. It has this cute little boba tea or bubble tea drink, a tiny little heart, and then some smiley faces that you could add onto the boba or not in two different styles, and also some rosy cheeks that you can add onto those faces. We have some cute little sentiments. We have "Hey QT," it says "Let's party," and then we have a fun mix and match sentiment which says "Happy birthday," which you can use on its own or add "To my bestie" to it. Now it's time to add some color to these adorable images. I'm going to be using my markers here, and we'll show you the coloring stencils in just a little bit. Year 15 is in celebration of Lawnfawn's 15th birthday. For every year, we have a year stamp set, year 1, year 2, year 3, etc. And now we have year 15, which is so exciting. I think these are so much fun to color in because you can do such bold and bright colors, and Chari has a super cute card to show you this in just a little bit. For the plastic part of the cup, I always like to use a little bit of a light blue marker all the way around just to give it a little bit of something and make it look special. Here are the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. Then you can line them up with your stamped images, hold it in place with some low-tack tape, and run it through the die cut machine, and you'll have perfectly cut out images every time. And I love this fun little cup and also the cute little heart for adding onto cards. Now here are those coloring stencils, and this is a two-step coloring stencil, and you can see that we've made the coloring stencil in the same size as the stamp set so that it's easy to store together no matter how you store your stamp sets. First off, I'm going to add some color, and here I'm using some fresh lavender, which I think looks so pretty, and I'm building up the color. Now I took a look at this and I thought, let me add a little bit more. So I brought in the grape soda ink to make it a little bit darker on the edges. And I love that with coloring stencils, you could either do one ink or you can bring in two to add a little bit more detail. I used some brown to color in the boba, and then again we're going to use a really light turquoise on the plastic parts of the cup so that it looks like plastic kind of reflecting in the sun. Here's the straw. The straw is also really fun to add bright and bold colors, so I decided to add some nice bright pink. And now Chari is going to show us some awesome cards using both of these new products. So take it away, Chari.
So I am creating a birthday card today using Party Mouse, but I wanted to start out by showing you a really fun idea I had to make a background with the new Simply Celebrate Hangouts. There is this long hangout that is a giant piece of cheese. And what is more perfect to go with Party Mouse than a cheesy background? So I have some yellow spiffy speckles paper. I am just actually attaching this down to my mat with a little bit of removable adhesive so it will stay in place as I do my stamping. You could also use a stamping platform if you wanted and move the stamp around, but I find it easier just to use a block. And I'm using some carrot ink, which I know is not yellow, but it's a really great orange that gives you a tone-on-tone look on some yellow cardstock. And I am just stamping this giant block of cheese, and I'm varying where the seams are between the cheese. You can see they don't line up, kind of like making a brick wall. I'm making a brick wall of cheese. I mean, that's super fun, right? So I started in the center, and then I worked my way to the bottom corner. Now I'm going to flip it and do the same all the way till it's completely covered. You don't have to flip it like this, just for me that is easier to see. And then next I'm pulling out some sunflower ink and I'm going to ink the edges so that it has even more kind of variation on the background. I like that vignette look with the inking around the edges and then the original Spiffy Speckles paper color in the center. I have a piece of mermaid cardstock. I'm going to attach it to this. Now I did trim this out, which I didn't say at first, with a stitch rectangle, so we have that nice frame of the mermaid cardstock around it. And then I will just add all of this to my card base. And I'm ready for a cheesy Party Mouse party card. So here is Party Mouse. I have already cut out some of the pieces from the colors I want to inlay, but I need to cut out the base piece. So I need to cut out those solid pieces you see there. And the best way to do this is to add some double-sided adhesive sheets to your cardstock because it will make the whole thing sticky like a sticker and make it really easy to add those die cut pieces. So I have a little piece here that I'm adding, and I will cut the balloon out of this little square, and then I will cut the mouse out of that rectangle. So I have my pieces cut. I cut them from some narwhal cardstock, so they are going to match the mouse color. And I will just pull off that liner paper, and now I have the whole balloon sticky. So I'm taking my outline piece. This I use some storm cloud cardstock, so it's dark gray. I added the frame first, and then I can drop my sugar plum balloon right into place. Before I break apart the rest of this mouse, I'm actually coloring his eyes and just his nose with a black marker so that they will be darker. I think that's easier to do than having to cut the black cardstock, but you could do it either way. Now to move on to my mouse, I will pull off the liner paper from the solid mouse body and layer that on the back side of the frame. And now all those little openings are sticky and I can add in all the pieces of the mouse. So I'm starting with his face. I need to pop out all those little face pieces because I'm going to put the black ones in there later, as well as the inside of his ear. Using the adhesive sheets makes it really easy to add all these little detail pieces into those openings without messy glue being involved. So we have the little part to his ear over here. I also cut the face with the ears from some ballet slipper cardstock, and I added that to the inside of his ear. We have his little paw holding the balloon, which is just so cute. I'm going to go ahead and add that main part of his body. And of course, we have the other side of the string there because that string kind of cuts that area in half, and his little foot. And that is all the narwhal pieces. So now I can go back to that little face that I set aside that's cut from Storm Cloud. And I'm taking out the outline of the inside of the ear. And then I can just drop that into place and then add the pink that's inside the other ear. I also cut the belly from some vanilla malt cardstock, so it's kind of cream colored. And then I can add his face. And these were the pieces that I colored with the black marker so that his eyes were black and his nose. I only colored the nose, even though the nose and the mouth are one piece. And that way they look a little bit different. Now I need to do his hat, and I pulled out some little scraps of glitter cardstock. So I have some purple and some green to put some festive party stripes on his hat. So we have 3 stripes, so I have 2 purple and 1 green. I think it's fun because you could customize the colors to anybody's birthday party colors that you like. Now for the sentiment, I'm actually using the tag from the tassel tag die set to create a little sentiment banner that's going to actually hang down from the top of my card. And I'm using some stamps from a couple different sets. I used the word birthday from the veggie happy set because it fit perfectly across this tag. And then I found the happy, which is a little bit bigger, from the spring basket set. And I like the look of these 2 different sized fonts together on this tag that's going to hang down from the top. I just think this is a fun look when you can make a skinny sentiment like this that doesn't go across the card but rather goes vertical. So I have some foam behind this, and I'm just going to put it in the top left corner, and I will trim off all of that tag that overhangs at the top. Now I can add some glue all over the back of my pieced together party mouse, and I will very carefully pick him up and put him on the right side of the card, making sure he's straight so it looks like he's hanging directly down from the balloon. And then I'm adding a little bit of white gel pen for a little shine mark on that balloon. Now I have a bunch of stars that I cut with the Hearts and Stars skinny tag die. I have way more stars than I'm going to use, but I always put these in a little bowl in my drawer, and I have stars to pull from whenever I need a little embellishment. I'm just adding some little dots of glue all around. I cut these from a rainbow of colors, so I have sugar plum, peacock, cilantro, raspberry, fake tan, and sunflower. And I'm just sprinkling these around to add some more color to this fun party birthday card that I'm creating. And I'm varying the sizes that I use as well. And I just think that this is so cute and adds a really fun party look to the card. Finally, we of course need some glitter, so I'm adding some stardust stickles to all of my little stars. And then I'm also going to add some to the top of my balloon to make it stand out. It's such a large solid piece, I really wanted it to not get lost. It would be fun to add some glossy accents to that as well. And then here is my finished Party Mouse birthday card with a cheesy background, which I think is my favorite part, the wall of cheese. And I just think this turned out so cute and would make anybody's birthday happy. So I have already colored out all my little bobas in a rainbow of color, and I'm going to set those aside and let's work on the card base. So I am using these bright colorful patterns from Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime. I really love this pink with the little stars. I'm cutting this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be the main background on my card base. Then I'm going to use the yellow, and I'm using that gridded side of the 12 by 12 sheet. I'm cutting a strip that's 2 1/2 inches tall and 5 1/2 inches wide. So we're going to be creating kind of a strip panel through the center of our card. I'm also cutting 2 strips of peacock cardstock, and for these, I'm using one of the lacy border dies. This is the middle size from the lacy border die collection, and I'm just lining this up so that my scallops are equal on each side. And I'll just run this through my die cut machine, and I am making 2 of these. So one will go along the top and one will go along the bottom to create a nice bright border on that yellow paper. So I will just add my adhesive runner right along there and line it up so it's right next to that stitching detail that the die created. And then I can do the same with the other side, making sure that they're nice and even. And we've created this thing that looks like a giant paper ribbon that will go across our card. This is a great place for our little boba teas to go. So I'm going to go ahead and lay them out, figure out where they go, and figure out their placement. I like that they're kind of haphazard in all different directions. I'm going to use 2 different thicknesses of foam square to add them to this so that the 5 little cups have some different dimension. And I'm starting in the center with the green one here, and then I'll work my way out. And that way I know that everything's going to be nice and even. So the one with the green in the center, that one is a regular thickness foam square. And then for the ones on each side, I'm going to use a thinner foam square. So they're set back just slightly from the one in the middle or the one next to them. So the little teal one is thin, the orange one has thin, and then the 2 on the ends are back to that regular thickness foam square, so we kind of have varying dimension between our cups. Now I can stamp my sentiment. There is a sentiment in this set that says happy birthday to my bestie. Sorry about my head because I was just trying to make sure it was nice and lined up. The thing I really like about this yellow gridded paper is it makes it really easy to line up your sentiment nice and straight. There is also a little heart in this set, so I'm just going to stamp some of those little hearts around with some guava ink. And then I'm also adding a little bit of twine for some texture. So I have some purple twine here. I'm going to wrap that around and tie a bow right below that pink cup of boba. And once I have that tied, I can kind of mess with it, make sure it looks okay. You can see the tails on this are super duper long. I wanted to make sure I had enough twine to be able to tie my bow really well, and then I'll just trim them off. Then I'm going to kind of shift it around so it's right at the bottom of that pattern paper, and I will make sure that it doesn't move. I'm adding a little bit of washi tape to the back to just hold it in place. Now I need to add my pink paper to my card base. And then for this panel that I've created with all these cute little rainbow boba teas, I will add some foam strips so that this whole panel can be popped up off the card base, which I think is really fun, especially with those lacy borders, because you get some nice little shadows from those die cuts. And I'm just making sure this is nice and straight on my grid mat so I can make sure that panel is nice and straight on the card. Then I took the crystal glaze pen and I added tiny little dots of crystal glaze to the boba pearls in the bottom or the bubbles in the bottom. And this was so fun because it dries that crystal clear and you get that glossy little bubble in the bottom of the boba tea. And I just think it turned out so cute. It was a really fun little detail. So here is my finished card. I just love this card so much. It makes me happy with all those fun boba tea colors.
Oh my goodness, this card is so happy, Chari. I love the whole rainbow look. It just makes me smile. And then your Party Mouse card was so cute, and I love the background you created with the hangouts. It's so adorable and perfect for this mouse. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team, and this one by Chari is so much fun. I loved how she used the daisy bloom stencil to create a cool rainbow background for her boba tea. This card by Elise is so sweet. I love how they are framed by that little scallop circle. It's so perfect and just adorable. This card by Letitia is so much fun, and I love her bold sentiment in the center that says bestie with all of her rainbow colored drinks. This card by Yanea is so pretty. I love how she has the cute little mouse floating through the sky with those clouds. And then this one here by Grace is so much fun. She used the tassel tag to create a fun fringe, and then she also made some extra tassels too, and it's perfect for a birthday. This card by Audrey is so pretty. I love the watercolor look and all of the soft colors. And then this one here by Mindy is so much fun. I love the bright and bold happy birthday sentiment with the cute little party mouse. And then here, I love how Elena used the Tada scalloped window add-on as its own little window on a card. It's so adorable with the party mouse. So we cannot wait to see both your boba cards and your mouse cards, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!